Namaste Pallavi ji. It's great to have you here today for this beautiful interview on Shakti Awakened and Devi Kamakhya.
Thank you so much, Rashmi, for this valuable opportunity. And thank you for your time and your presence here. And I hope that this would be a valuable set of things that I can bring onto the table for those who love Shakti and who are able to experience her in different ways. Yes.
And a quick background on how I happen to connect with Dr. Pallavi Kwatra is uh, somewhere around 6 to 7 months. I was just researching more on Shakti rising and Shakti energy about feminine embodiment. So that's how I happened to first reach to her YouTube channel, then check her website. Then eventually I wanted a crystal. So that's how then I bought a crystal, and now we are in a very amazing collaboration doing really amazing work. And she's been doing puja rituals related to Devi Kamakhya's presence, and she's doing really wonderful, and she has a very special course to talk about going in this interview forward. So starting with our first question, so we would like to know a little from your side, would like to know about you, your life journey, and your work, which is all the details are on drpallavikwatra.com. I will be adding all the social media links later. So,
Yeah. So there's a lot that's happened over the past decade and a half, in which I think it started around 2010 for me. The spiritual journey took up a predominant area of my life. I'd say that because before 2010, I was just like a doctor, a mundane kind of person, living out one day at a time and struggling to do things one by one, and like really coping with the coping mechanisms intact. And all these actually crash landed for me in 2010 when I was actually faced with a very lethal and deadly spinal cord cancer.
that
So
was
that
in
came like
2010.
10, yes. So 13 years back. So that is the point of awakening for me, and in which I was literally in front of my own death. And there were so many questions that sprung up about life, about its existence, and why you're here, and what you're doing here, and everything. So all this was like a brutal awakening that happened. But over the period of these 13 years, it's been a journey of some sort from this little impetus that happened to me, where the longing actually kept deepening and growing on itself to discover more about the depths of life. So maybe sometimes for us, for some of us it's very painful, and for some of us it's very gradual. So there's no one way for everybody, but for me it was just like that. And that's the time that I started looking for some spiritual answers to life. And I did not want to take chemotherapy for myself because I knew that it was really toxic on the system. So I kind of looked out for healing modalities to heal my body and not die with the cancer.
That
But
was
it was
breast cancer you mentioned.
no, it was a spinal cord cancer.
Oh,
Yeah, so that was actually very rare. And all the doctors I met, they told me that I'd not be alive in the next 3 months. And they said, no, you got to take all the proper treatment and get all those chemotherapy drugs. But I said no, I'd like to take the chance on life and I'd like to risk it. So that's the time I encountered energy healing, and I found about found out about Reiki and more other energy healing methods. I also went deeper into my Buddhist practice, which I was introduced to as a child. So I went back to it and I started chanting a lot, and I started praying with others for others. That's the modus that I actually took up. So in spite of my own health issues, I'd actually go to people's homes who were practicing Buddhism, and I'd encourage them by reading with them, by chanting with them, like that. So that is the time. Then I also started reading a lot of books. So I have a huge library of books on various spiritual traditions that I read and I walked those paths for 10, 13 years so far. And in 13 years, all that, what I was like experiencing inside was getting channeled out also at the same time. So I was downloading a lot of information and I was also releasing it out, because I also felt that no matter how knowledgeable I would get with my experiences, it's not the end of the game. It doesn't really help. So the idea was to recycle what I've learned or downloaded and share it with everyone. So that was inside my heart, that whatever I know has to go out. It doesn't have to just be contained in me and make me something, very out of the blue or something enigmatic kind of a thing. That wasn't really the agenda. The agenda was to really walk the talk and do the constant sharing of the downloads that happen. So there's a body of work on my website where there are 13 odd books that got churned out. The only thing I've done so far in these years is allowing. That's all I'd say. That I've really not done anything actively other than allowing. So whatever has come into my consciousness, that I must say, for example, I must write a book, or I must do a puja for somebody, or I must do I must offer them a Shri yantra. Whatever has happened, I've allowed that to happen. I've not mentally tried to debate on it whether I should do it or not, because whatever comes to us from our inner voice is something that we need to walk on. So with a feeling of great abidance, there should be no conflict in that. And the conflict is always created by the mind, because it has a lot of strategies and profit loss scenarios that it wants to weigh before you actually hit the road. You know what I mean? But if you have that ability and courage to walk on your impulse and trust that it has come to you, because it has to be manifested out of you, through you, then you don't, then everything, just the universe is just conspiring to make things happen for you. Nothing is against you. You have to just believe and trust it with 100%, that your things that are coming to you are meant to be shared, are meant to be out in the world. So it started with books. Actually, I'm basically like a kitabi kida, like a writer. So it started with books, and in the modern times of today, where people are largely more into, quick fix recipes, I'm like a very slow person, zombie kind. I like to still read a book and read one page repeatedly for it to actually grow on me. So I'm like a very orthodox kind of a person, you'd say, in today's times. But I still believe that the values and of such a detailed, aware, and loving practice of whatever you do, if it is about reading a book, doing a work, anything to which you tend to with awareness and love, actually becomes like the nourishment of your life. So it's not about doing quantum amount of work. It's about doing even the smallest with great depth, with detailing and awareness. So my work started with books, but then later on, now in the
And more of
past
your
5 years,
blogs. Yeah, tell us
yeah,
quite some things about your
yeah,
blogs also.
yeah.
Very
So basically, the blogs just keep happening every day. I've been writing for 5, 6 years now. So there's a list of almost 4,000 blogs on almost every topic in the world that you can think of, basically, from poetry to spirituality to pujas to life tips to anything, basically. So I'm like a free person. I don't like to tame myself and tell myself I'm only this. Whatever I experience in life is just channeled out through these writings. So, as I said, nowadays people don't like to read lengthy blogs and stuff, but they're there. And now my website has also got all the translation facilities. So, people want to read in any languages, they can make use of these detailed blogs. And there's a lot of information, but unfortunately, I am too small to even go out and speak about it, because the minute I go and start, I don't know whether I should do the work or whether I should go out and talk about it. There's like a time lapse which I can't bridge. So the more and more churnings happen, there's lesser time to contemplate on how to put it out. So maybe I'm lacking there, but then it's all happening because people who want to connect to me are coming to me and they are receiving from
yes.
me, and I'm like happy with that exchange. It's
Yes,
not
of
about,
course. Yes, it was
Please.
my quest to know more about what Shakti practices are there that led me to meeting
Yes.
you, and today we are interviewing here. So I think that's so true that, yeah, people who are meant to be will find you.
Yes.
It's there, it's just there. Yeah.
So, other than books, then actually the work kind of transformed and transmuted itself into a whole body of work on Shakti, which is called Shakti Awakened. Now, that has got a lot of books and e courses. Slowly, I went into teaching. So, then there are e courses. Then I started to have this want to share that Shakti should touch the life of each and every person. So, I did not know how to do that. So I got a calling to offer these energized Shri Yantras to people for their specific needs and demands. So there is a whole set of around 50 different kinds of Shri Yantras, and more than 500 people across the globe have received these energized Shri Yantras for their respective areas like their life, their health, their businesses, religious organizations, and stuff like that. And they keep telling me of their stories of how these Shri Yantras bring delight and transformation to their life. So the work has just gone on to take different shapes and forms. Then there now I've recently started to hold these workshops, and I'm like more available to do this good quality work with selected core people who want to actually go deeper into sadhanas of Shakti, who want to actually experience her in that with that sincerity and devotion. So that's what Shakti Awakened is about, and all that is available on my website. I request Rashmi ji to share the links whenever
Ji,
it's possible.
sure.
What else would you like to ask or know, Rashmi ji?
Okay, so that was more about your work and how your life has been so far, and very inspiring story, I must say. Moving forward to our second question, what I think we pretty much covered this. I think the second question got answered already. What, but still, if there is anything to add, what situations led you to exploring Sri-Vidya, Sri Chakra Realm, and the signature course Kalavahana?
Yeah, this is a bit of a story that I'd like to share.
And to bridge it with the one more question which was
Yes,
going to come next, let me add that also. Like
yes,
introduction to Kalavahana Puja,
yes, sure.
we could show it. Yeah.
So all this is actually linked to each other. So Sri Vidya actually came to me around 2018, in the year 2018, when I encountered a very strange kind of a person called Amritananda Saraswati on Google. Now, this fellow seemed really strange because he was a nuclear scientist who turned into a Sri Vidya guru. Now, these are like two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's a polarity of a scientific mind that does not believe in anything without evidence, and the complete shift of this personality into a Shakti guru who's, offering Sri Vidya practices to people. And that too, he's not even checking their qualification. He's just saying, Ajao, come. If you love Shakti, it's great. Let me celebrate with you.
And
So I
very
was like,
few rare gurus like him,
yes,
who believe in Shakti presence so much, right?
yes, and who are also willing to share it so openly at that time when he was there. Imagine we didn't have this net facilities and we didn't have Zoom meetings to take workshops. But at that time also, he had this compassion and this vision that this knowledge should be going out to people, to everybody without qualifications, to everybody who wants to learn and to know. So he kind of thought of internet ways to reach out that knowledge. Around this is around, I think, 30 years back in time. So that was the vision and compassion that he had, and I was literally shocked because in Sri Vidya, most of the practitioners who are teaching are having very, very culted methodologies of how they take up their disciples and put them through the grind where they have to climb the ladder very systematically. So it's not
Hmm.
like this that anybody can just come, connect, and go off like that. It's very
And a lot of
appropriate.
hidden things have happened which has gone in a bad direction.
Yeah. So they
Yeah, so that
like
openness is very, transparency is very important.
yes. So that's the time I got to know about this person, and I started reading this book called The Goddess and the Guru, which is actually about his life story. And while I was midway through the reading of the book, I was so intrigued that I booked a flight and I landed up in Devipuram, which is actually the place where he has constructed a temple, which is in the form of a Sri Yantra. It's the most unique place in the world, and I landed there. And I did not know what I wanted to seek actually, but I was just curious to know that how can this kind of a place or a person exist basically. So Guruji was not in body, but I met his wife, and I
Okay.
was actually forcibly initiated into Sri Vidya right at the personal altar of Guruji in his own home, because they kept asking me, "Why are you here? Why have you come to us?" And I said, "No, I don't know." Uh, and I was just told, because you are here now, you just take the initiation of the mantras and you go. I said, I will never practice all this. I don't have any faith in, I can't do so much mantra chanting and all. But I was just
Okay,
forcefully
so even you
initiated.
were not a lot into the puja or the ritual part of it, and
No,
changed
no,
for you. It's very different.
nothing. That's all.
Tell
That's
us
all.
more.
The journey is so transformative. And after coming back from there, somehow there was like a download through that initiation, which prompted me to do lots and lots of lakhs and lakhs of mantra japas with my own understanding. And then I read and compiled lots of notes of Amritananda ji. I understood what were the techniques. I worked with them over periods of almost 3 years before I could actually churn out something to say that, okay, now I have a real experience of some of the vidhis that have been taught and that are so powerfully impactful in changing even our urban lives. Because practicing Sri Vidya in urban life is actually like a very difficult and challenging thing, which even I, as a modern person, encountered. And I wanted to bring around some things which would enable the urban people to absorb and practice Sri Vidya in their day-to-day life, not having to struggle with hours and hours of sadhanas, but to make it compact and still impactful.
Yeah, I think that's what kind of resonated with me, and to take up your courses also. Like, to my viewers, I have done a couple of workshops with her, and that's what I like about how she presents it. Very concise and to the point. So yeah, definitely, whoever is going to see this, do check her out at the WhatsApp groups, her website. Yeah, please
Thank you so
continue.
much. Thank you so much, Rashmi. And then after that visit in 2018, I started working with some with Lalita Sahasranama predominantly, which is like a hymn to goddess Lalita Tripura Sundari. In 2019, I went back to Devipuram for their Mahakumbh Abhishekam, and right when I was in the premises, I got a download that I must create a book on Lalita Sahasranama, which must have 1,000 images in it. Now that was something out of the world, unbelievable. To all those I shared my vision, they said, no, no, this is not possible. How will you bring 1,000 images? How will you do simple English translations of 1,000 words? It was very difficult. It was unfathomable. I said, see, if the ideas come to me, then it must be the will and grace that has enabled
Way
it.
out. Yeah.
And within the next 6 months, I did so much sadhana, and I really could manage to churn out this unique book, which is there on my website. It's free of cost for everybody to enjoy, relish, and see that Shakti is not restricted to just one form. There are 1,000 forms, and she's actually apara. She's beyond form. So, but she gives us the opportunity to relish her through various methodologies, through either forms, through rituals, through Shri Chakras, through idols, through yantra, mantra, tantra, everything. But at the end of it, Sri Vidya is about the self-knowledge, and it is the deepest wisdom of how and why we are here. So we have to play with her until the point that we become her. That's what is the idea of the entire sadhana or the path itself. So Kala Vahana is actually one course for something that's very unique. Rashmi mentioned. So that came from Devipuram. So Devipuram has this amazing space, consecrated space called Kamakhya Peetham. So one we know of a Kamakhya Mandir in Assam, but in Devipuram there is this beautiful place called Kamakhya Peetham, in which they offer you this unique process called Kala Vahana. I experienced many sets of it in my multiple visits to Devipuram and found it to be life transforming for me, where they actually worship the Shakti inside the body of the recipient. So it's not like an outside worship.
Quite interesting. Yeah, that's what
It,
I think is what a
yes,
lot of women are feeling, that urge
yes.
to be, experience that.
Yes, so we are now in an era where we want to experience the living embodiment inside us. We don't want to. How much more are we going to lean on external yantras and idols and rituals to explore her? There's nothing wrong about doing that. That is also a path. But essentially, the non duality consciousness of us being the Shakti ourselves is something that this process enables, and it's absolutely beautifully auspicious because here the recipient is made to, he or she is actually worshipped, like a proper abhishekam is done, a proper bathing ritual is conducted, a proper celebratory anointing is done, and each and every chakra of the body is actually, there are multiple layers and petals of each chakra, which can be activated by the 51 matrukas. There are 51 chakra petals and 51 matrukas. So you can actually activate each petal of each chakra. And it's beautiful, celebratory, and very auspicious. So somebody who receives it from someone also feels very overwhelmed and transformed, and somebody who offers it to the person also feels very beautiful. So it's a very wonderful process. And now we are in a place where we don't have people to do this to us. Okay, so that's why I created this e-course on my website, which enables us to do a daily practice just by watching the video and doing it to ourselves. So we are not waiting for anybody who's trained in Kalavahana to give you that experience. You give the experience to yourself. So that's the whole idea of it. And I'd like to share my screen of a video, of a small
Yeah.
video, which can actually give an idea about what this course is about. I'm
Yeah,
just
and
sharing.
while you're talking about Kalavahana, that my inner voice, inner Shakti was like that reclamation time has come for all women on earth. Like, I think we have spoken about this personally, but yeah, I feel that deep calling that more women have to do that for themselves.
Yes, we will speak about it, Rashmi, at the end of the session on
Mm-hmm.
how we'd like to actually experience our new worlds with all our living Shaktis. Okay, so I'm
Sure.
just sharing the screen right now. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, visible.
Okay, I'm just full screening it.
Yeah. So a little introduction here about Kalavahana.
Shri Matre Namaha. Welcome to the do-it-yourself Kalavahana ritual to discover Devi within. Kala Vahana Puja is a powerful form of Sri-Vidya practice that has been offered by Pujya Guruji Sri Amritanandanatha Saraswati of Devipuram. The practice allows us to experience unity consciousness where we can see that there is no difference between us and Devi. The non-dual state achieved after this powerful ritual can open one's perception to the Bindu consciousness where all becomes one. We know of many powerful traditions and rituals of worshipping Shakti through offerings to yantras, murtis and more. This unique practice enables us to invoke Devi within our bodies, powerfully reminding us that Devi is within us and not outside. This puja opens the benefits of Sri Chakra Puja to you. It is very powerful but has been kept very secret so far, and the intention of this video is to make it available to all who have devotion and discipline to follow Devi's path. The daily practice of Kala Vahana can become your sadhana of welcoming Devi's auspiciousness and grace in your life. This simple and powerful ritual can be practiced alongside this guided video in the privacy of your own home without any difficulty. Good health, material abundance, harmonious relationships, and spiritual evolution comes to the one who does this practice with discipline and surrender. All are equally qualified to do this simple guided ritual, and no initiation or diksha process is needed to qualify you for this. Just offer your devotion and surrender and reclaim your mother's love and grace.
Wow, this is so
Yeah.
uplifting.
So I also want to show this course on my website. So
Sure.
this is how you'll find it. There are already around 50 people who are enrolled in the course, and you just need to come to my website on this link that will be shared, and you can just purchase this course. There are also other three very simple guided video courses on Sri-Vidya, which teach you how to do Lalita Sahasranama, Lalita Trishati, and Khadagmala pujas on your Shri Yantra, right where you are in your home. So, using these four courses, which are available at a 40% off, it's much easier to do and learn and experience and have your own experiences rather than taking all the toll to visit people and then get disappointed with their expectations of you and everything. I'm not against gurus or anything,
But
but I
there's
feel,
something individual which is
yeah,
like it's special to that person. Yeah.
yes, and why not be an autonomous person at the end of the day? You got to learn, do, and have your own experience. No guru can feed anything into your system. So if you do your sadhana, basic idea is to do your sadhana right and make it as simple as possible by investing little time and making it equally available for you. So you can
Correct.
use these videos and you can learn at home and you can do and you will have your experiences. It is not about having any doubt on that, because the process itself is so powerful that if you learn to work with it in cycles of say 7, 11, like depending on your availability and convenience, you can do these sadhanas at home. You don't need any initiation for it. You don't need to follow any complex ritual paths. And like if you're a person who's like working and who has to go to work, you can't sit and do a Navavaran puja which takes you hours and hours. You want to do something that's simple and yet impactful, right? So
Yes.
do it like that and be autonomous, have your experiences, journal them, respond to it, respond to your own unique connection with Devi. Don't wait for anybody to some bottle feed you. It's not something, we are all autonomous people, individuals. So we should learn to have our own experiences. Okay.
Yeah.
And so this is about the course, and it's also there is a free Sri Vidya course on my website.
Mhm.
So if you want to understand details of the theory part of Sri Vidya and all these practices, then there is detailed theory explanations of these which have been accumulated over years and years of sadhana. So please make use of the free Sri Vidya course and also learn from it. Even if you don't want to pay for these courses and you want to first understand what the process is, go into the theory part, into the free Sri Vidya course, have an overview of what it is about, and then come and purchase these courses. So that's something I wanted to share. I'm stopping the screen sharing now. Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Pallavi ji, for explaining that, and so that people can take some time out and check for themselves. I think even otherwise, for individuals, especially women, it's this is easy, right? Like now, everybody is kind of almost everyone is tech savvy and they can do it at their own pace. So that's a really amazing thing, the way you have put it out there. So thank you. Thanks for bringing that to a lot of women, presenting it to so many. And yeah, moving forward to our next question. Um, would you like to share your life experience with Goddess Mahashakti Kamakhya?
Okay, so as I said, Shakti has many forms and she is always playing with us. So that's her Leela, that's her Maya. And if we have the courage and the love, that unquestioning love, that if she gives us one tip, then we can chase it without worrying about what will happen and whether I'll accomplish something or not. If we have that kind of an attitude with her, then she is going to throw straws at you and check out your ability to follow the tips.
Oh,
So she will be leading you from one form to another and she will check if you have the ability to just remain stuck in one position, or you're open and able to experience her in different formats. So 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 that's how it happened to me, that my first point of contact with Shakti was actually Linga Bhairavi goddess by Sadguru Jaggi Vasudev. This happened around, I think, 7 years back. And after that, with that Upasana, I was led to Lalitambika. And from there, I actually 2018 and 19, mid of that, before Corona endemic came on, I actually visited Kamakhya out of the blue. I did not know anything about Kamakhya. And there is that starting point, because when you visit her, that is a totally different experience from actually learning about her intellectually. So
hmm.
maybe that seed was sown into me at that time, which still did not sprout until about a year back, where I was literally enamored by the fact that how come in this entire existence where there are so many goddesses, we are still wanting to worship a pure uniform, which is actually the creative matrix of this entire universe. So, so that's the time when I actually started to do the sadhana for Kamakhya, and that was absolutely mind blowing because things started to happen. And yes, last month I also conducted a workshop where I was able to inform, initiate, and share all my experiences of Kamakhya with all the people who registered for it. So essentially, the journey is either through the Dasa Mahavidyas leading to Kamakhya or through Kamakhya leading to one of the Dasa Mahavidyas. So it can
Oh,
be different for different people. But that's how, like, you have to follow the lead. When she's given you a calling, then you don't say, no, no, I'm stuck with Kali, so I will not go to Kamakhya. You follow the lead because there is a progressive dynamics which she has only arranged for you. So there's nothing like higher or lower forms of the goddess. All are beautiful, all are authentic, all are auspicious. But she wants you to play with the forms. So don't stop yourself from that you're trapped in a cult. So that's how Kamakhya is just happening. And then I was fortunate to be able to offer the auspicious Kamakhya sindoor and also curate these very good designed yantras, which are enabling many people to help them in their spiritual and in their material growth, in their psychic protections. So it's helping people to connect with Kamakhya Devi, and that's what the journey is about.
wow. That's so true, and that was a very important point where you said anybody who is in their spiritual journey, they have to follow the lead which universe or she or Mahashakti is providing. Otherwise, there's that resistance or agitations. I think some has that happened anytime? Like if we are not following the lead, then that a sense of uneasiness starts.
Yes,
Is that
yes.
the thing?
Yes, definitely. That's why the openness and courage and flexibility is needed to experience her in whatever forms that she wants you to play with. And then at the end of the day, it's not about the form at all, because at the end of the day, it's about you and yourself and your own connection with your own
Yeah,
Shakti. That is what it is. And that is not in restricted to any form or yantra or ritual. So she will lead you to that Shiva's silence and Shunyata. So the more you work with her, the more you're going to play a lot and then come back home and, become stambit like Shiva. So you need to experience the polarities with her. You need to not get stuck with like many people see Shakti as only the divine mother. So they're not ready to see her as a lover. And if there are many who see her as a lover and don't want to see her as a mother. But that's not the entire
there are,
spectrum,
yeah,
right?
multiple millions of emotions and expressions of her,
Yes.
isn't it?
And here we are missing on one very important point, and that is to experience her as the Kundalini inside your body. That is also one way of her expression. There are many meditators who do not follow any rituals, who do not do any mantra chantings, but they are able to experience Shakti in their own bodies through the rising Kundalini. That is even more palpable, even more sukshma, even more real time to them. So she can take many swarupas and confuse you and try to cult you and see how much you are willing to stake and grow and climb up every time. Every time you feel fixed
Yes.
at any perception of her, you should know that now is the time to move to the next level, where she will be another swarupa, totally different from what you have known and believed in. Because the entire journey is about crushing the conditioning of what you want to look at things like this is so Shakti is not a point of arrival. Shakti is the journey that you are undertaking. So it will have its own ebbs and flows and you have to work with it.
Wow. So beautifully explained and very, very intriguing. And yeah, it's very calming also to listen to what you said. Like sometimes we do resist due to our conditioning, but that's, I think, that's how free universe or that Atma is. You know?
Yes.
It's just that we use our little mind to just
Yes.
pull back. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So I we have reached the final point of our interview. Your special message for all WomBn on earth. I'm especially using the word WomBn because that signifies more of Shakti and feminine essence. So,
So my only message in the shortest words possible is that look no more, you're already there. You're already it. So it's not about traveling on a path to arrive at a destination or becoming somebody else than what you know yourself to be. It's about removing the veil of illusion that you're at it. What journey will you undertake when you're already at the destination? So each and every person here is very unique, very beautiful, very gifted, very complete, very wholesome. There is nothing to do to become anything better. The whole journey is about acceptance, a lot of self love, self regard, self esteem, and self empowerment. So when you learn to give all these gifts to yourself, then there will be lesser and lesser need to lean on any outside Shivas or outside Shaktis or outside techniques or outside rituals or outside tools to gift you the mirror to see yourself, see your own beauty, see your own global completeness. It is without doubt complete and without a blemish. It's only that your mind gives you those ideas of archetypes that are very perfect. So you find yourself always lesser, and you want to undertake a journey to arrive to that final archetype. But it's not like that. The archetype is you only. You just have to see yourself for it. So that's the message.
Yeah, it's more of remembrance. That's so true. I think it's been like the programming, like it's all outward, but it's totally the other way around. As much as you in your journey and I in my quest and journey, we have come to that realization that it was always in our body, so always
Another
with
thing I want
us.
to tell to all the women is that it's wonderful that we are more feeling beings and we are more compassion is our default setting. Okay. It's wonderful that is why we are able to nourish and give to the world always. A man never has that capacity to actually give. He is just like a taker. Sorry, I'm not a feminist, but this is how the tattvas are actually different for a man
Keep
and
this
woman.
interview, you can be bold out there. It's
No,
fine.
there are going to be men here also hearing this interview, and I want to convey that this is
It's
not
okay,
about
they have
being
to deal with
feminist.
it. The world is changing.
Yeah. So, but there is an essential tattva of compassion and giving in a woman, which is her default setting. But the message here is that let it not become your weakness. Let it be your strength.
Hmm.
Honor your compassion. Do not let it get trampled and get it maligned by the impurity of others who come to touch you, but they are not qualified. I'm sorry to say, because of the purity level. So if you are encountering people who are not on the same vibrational frequency of self-love and self-honor, then might as well be alone with yourself rather than maligning your energy
Yeah,
because you want to lean on something to give you your own
yeah.
perception.
Like overgiving or just leaking yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be in that balanced state. See your compassion, honor yourself for it, respect yourself for it, do not treat it as a weakness, and be balanced about it. See it, don't just jump without thinking just because you're overwhelmed. It's great to see your own compassion. Being a witness to your compassion is also very empowering, very self-empowering. It's an act of self-love when you can see your compassion and still restrain from a physical act to actually translate it. Not every compassion needs to be translated into an action. It may just be a bhava inside your heart. So allow that, sip
Hmm.
on it slowly, be in that remembrance. बस उतना काफी है. जरूरी नहीं है कि कंपैशन आ गया तो जाकर एक फिजिकल एक्टिविटी में ही उसको
उमड़ दो
ट्रांसलेट
ऐसा.
करना. हाँ,
या मतलब
वो
उमड़ने की भी
बैलेंस.
जरूरत नहीं है. You can
हाँ,
just
देखो अपने आप को. अपने आप से प्रेम होगा. जब आप अपने प्रेम को देखते हो तो आपको अपने आप से प्रेम होता है. वो चीज दैट विल सेल्फ एम्पावर यू. यू विल नॉट नीड एनीबडी टू गिव यू एनी लव फ्रॉम आउटसाइड.
that dependency is reduced so much. Yeah, so true. I had just two questions coming in my psyche, and last time I missed out on your interview about AI versus emotional intelligence. So, can we talk a little about that? What's your perception about emotional intelligence over the artificial tech intelligence right now? What's happening around the world?
Yeah, so we are in 2023, and in this year onwards, we are going to be encountering a high level of automation in every area of our life, and we are going to be seeing a lot of bots replacing human beings in, and the way that they handle us is not the way that humans handle each other. So, but that's how the world is shaping up. And in these kind of times, it's very easy to actually become a bot oneself, because everything is so everything is so strategized and so calculated that you forget that you're human yourself. It's difficult to remind yourself of that. So, but if we are into certain practices like a detoxification, a digital detox of a certain hours in a day, and also spending some good quality time with real people in real time space, not on virtual platforms, holding their hand, just sitting with each other, also not sharing our point of views, meeting friends over tea and coffee, having going to book clubs. These are physical things, going out into nature, walking, seeing the sun every day. All these things are very simple, silly looking stuff, which may sound very aberrated to the modern mind कि भाई सब कुछ तो अवेलेबल है वर्चुअल प्लेटफॉर्म पे, तो बाहर
सामने
क्यों जाना
अवेलेबल
है?
नहीं है.
नहीं है ना, नहीं है. अगर होता तो बात ही क्या थी, नहीं है. एंड द deeper we have our contact with our own self, with our own silence, with others around us that are authentic connections, then we may be entering into a wild world of AI, but we'll still retain our roots, and that's how we can still have the balance. We can't stop AI from taking over our lives, but we can do little things to remain rooted.
Maybe like it was just coming like I sometimes contemplate on this, like I have been in the tech industry and I left it 5 years ago for good, and I'm like so happy I did that. Now I realize that okay, what was coming and why. The series of events, the bridge of events that happened completely gave an outlook of why women are called for certain things and feeling that change in life. And I think it should reach a peak where people realize what artificial intelligence is and its limitation, and then only that physical world starts becoming looking precious more, isn't it?
Yes.
That importance will rise 10
And
times, 100
health
times
issues
more.
are something that will make us, the pain of our health issues will make us awaken to the fact that we can't really eat everything on the couch, and we
Internet
can't be
and
couch potatoes and learn everything on the internet. There's a lot of work that needs to be done with every day with the body. Otherwise, the body is a very sophisticated machinery, but still it gives way. And then once when you have any kind of bodily issues, then you want solutions and it's not happening. So engagement of your energy, flow of your body, movement, dynamism, all this is very important. It can never replace sitting on a sofa and getting all the information you want. A real time experience is a totally different ball game than just reading or knowing about it.
And it's a good thing that we brought this topic out today, because more of such conversations have to happen. And just a little bit for the viewers, I think this is the time when knowing your biology, your composition is so important, because there are a lot of unwanted technological advances happening when it comes to the aesthetics of a female or a male biology. So yeah, people need to be vigilant about, alert about what's really going around, and is it really in our favor? That's the question.
And there's a lot of body shame also, Rashmi, regarding people who are not appropriately, like configured in the perfect archetypal dynamics. But that is leading to a lot of stress issues and depression among the youth also. So appreciating and loving our bodies, honoring our bodies, touching ourselves often,
Yeah.
holding ourselves in that space of love, all these things are priceless. We have to find time for it now. Otherwise, there is
Yeah.
a doom death awaiting us, where we will be in the best of assets, the best of possessions, but we will have no taste and no relishment of our life.
True, like accepting ourselves completely. Like
Yeah.
I always feel like the body is the only temple and home we live in real. So,
Yes. If we fail to honor that, then which temple do we want to go and honor? And which Shakti which Shakti is there to be worshipped when we don't have the basic common sense of understanding what diet we should take, how we should feel, what how we should respond. All these are very basic things in life. You may not be earning very well in your life or be very materialistically very empowered. But if you fail to live with the basics of your life, then please, there is no concept in any spirituality or anything else. The diurnal rhythm in our system, in our bodies, is a basic that if we can respect. Most people are just sleeping and eating erratically on awkward timings, and that's the starting point of ill health in the mind as well as in the body.
right. Yeah. And yeah, if we like it or not, but we still have so many things on phone. Like, yeah, a lot has to change. A lot
Yeah.
needs. Revaluation and evaluation.
It's
Yeah.
about being aware. If you're aware, you will obviously do things that are more in congruence and appropriateness. I feel that it's not about a dictum. It's not about following dictums in your life that this is the way, these are the steps. No, become intelligent and hear and listen to your own body, your own feelings. But if you're not doing that, you're just, shoving things under the carpet कि हाँ भाई ठीक है, आज मैंने कुछ भी खा लिया, अब देखी जाएगी कल क्या होता है. ऐसे नहीं होता. Your body has registered every emotion in its subconsciousness level. Every activity, every food that you have eaten, every thought that you have thought is all registered. So there's no later time to take care of yourself. It's now or never. That's the urgency with which you need to live, that's the awareness with which you need to live.
Right. And one final last question, which is coming to me, and I feel like I should ask this. Your message for the teenage groups and the younger generation who are in their 20s and 30s, because they are the ones who are every new update, take it. Every new trend, take it. So yeah, how do you see this generation going? Because it's a very tight situation where the parents are trying to put in that older principle, but then the younger generation is obviously intelligent, but then they can't see things outside technology, like things which can be solved physically. They still want some app to come in between. And I was having this conversation, but then I was a little surprised. Like, how much can we give our uh, how much can we give our decision making capacity to technology?
So actually, we are grooming intelligent idiots, and that is what we are so proud of also. So basically, we are on a double-edged sword of disaster. So it is impossible, almost impossible to save ourselves from that, because we are not only not walking the right path, but we are also proud of not walking the right path. So nothing can save us if we have the combination of foolishness with ego. So that
Wow,
is the
very
most
well put.
deadly, yeah, that is the most deadly combination that we are actually cultivating in our ecosystem everywhere. We are telling our children, do this the way that the app tells you, and trust that it's fine and it's perfect, and also be proud and tell your other friends also you did it this way and you were impactful. So we are
Mm.
literally taking off their natural creativity, their natural blossoming, their ability to think, function, feel, create. Everything is just being ripped off with the intelligence and internet actually replacing real time people to lead them. Initially, when people lived in joint families, they had their dadis and dadus to tell them how to conduct themselves in life and how to do the basics for their bodies and their minds. But now we have apps telling them. So
Hmm.
we are literally registering things onto them like a cult, that this is how a thing is done. So there's no other, we're not letting them explore a divergent way of their own beauty, their own uniqueness. So there
Right.
has to
And it
be,
was like,
yeah.
just to give an example, like somewhere last month I was seeing like a 5-year-old child is with that tab, and both parents are sitting and looking at each other's face. Like, it is so bad. Like, there's no conversation, no intimacy, and that child is like this.
Yes,
So it's
it's a,
some and if it in that young age, if people are like getting subconsciously so programmed with mobile, then we are in
and
some.
and there's a lot of cyber bullying and cyber crime that the teenagers are being afflicted with. They have mood swings, they have paranoias, they have depressions, they go to therapy at such a young age because they don't know how to deal with friends bullying them on cyber platforms. There's a lot of show off about owning stuff, about
Hmm.
wearing brands. So all this is just taking away their innocence and their purity, I feel. But the question here is that how can we save our children from that when the whole world and the whole league is moving towards that?
Yeah, majority of the chunk is like yet unaware,
Yes.
and
So
they've considered it as a normal thing.
yeah, that's what I said. foolishness with ego is the biggest deadly combination that is very difficult to break.
Now that totally makes sense what you said. Yeah.
But still, we can continue to educate through small programs, through sessions, through teaching, through day to day interactions, giving them some tips on digital detoxification, taking them out in nature for walks, stuff like that, that makes them intrigued with nature also. They want to, they feel that mystery of nature and in real time life
Yeah,
also.
like,
So,
and they can also choose like career opportunities like uh, full-time scuba diving or full-time travel consultants. Like these are amazing. Like
yeah,
definitely choose that. I think a bit of that is there. A chunk of youth collective is doing that, that hostel work culture and the nomadic digital lifestyle, digital nomad lifestyle. I think some, yeah, some have really made it through and have this very perfect blend. Yeah, but still a lot has to change because the pop culture and all in people of like 14, 16-year-old, yeah, that I see a lot of influence of that. Which, and then that causes people to like do all that aesthetic with their face, change their body, change their organs, and whatnot is happening.
yeah.
So just need to come with this.
Let's continue to educate, inspire, and continue to keep spreading the word. And then obviously it's each one for himself, and we really can't actually banter people to become aware. It's something that comes from within. Either it's there or it's not there. And there's a time in everyone's life to be aware. So no matter how much you educate them, when that sprouting has to happen, it happens only then. But for us to do the work is what we need to do without much expectation of its result, and to keep ourselves as an example for what we want to share and put it out, not just speaking about it but actually doing the work, so that those who see us are inspired by our role play rather than just saying something that we are not exemplifying. Even small things that
True.
we can do when our in our state or stand is good enough.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Pallavi. This has been a very deep conversation, very valuable things that you told us and your experience with Devi Kamakhya and about Kala Vahana. I insist all our viewers to definitely go and check out the courses that she offers and be a part of her group as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rashmi ji. You are doing great work in this field also, and working and counseling and grooming and teaching Kundalini Yoga to all people is something that is also your own style and way of bringing alive Shakti to their life. So I wish you a lot of good luck in your endeavors to spread the word and to make people more and more aware and in self-love with themselves. All
Definitely
my
high
best
on self
wishes.
love and embodying Shakti. So thank you. Thanks a
Thank
lot
you
for
for
your
this
blessings.
opportunity. Thank
Means a
you.
lot to me.
Thank
So
you.
see you everyone. Good night.